Hidden in the heart of Hanley lie two quiet witnesses to the past: the cemetery chapels. Built for the living and the dead, their beauty is often overlooked, resting in plain sight. Time and people may pass, but the chapels remain. Hanley Cemetery was established in 1860 on 20 acres of land formerly part of the Shelton Hall estate. It was created to serve the growing population of the industrial town. Designed by architects Henry Ward and Bellamy and Hardy, the cemetery was developed to provide a dignified resting place for the community. The site was eventually expanded in 1876 and again in the early 20th century. It became the main municipal burial ground for the Potteries in the mid-Victorian era, and the cemetery chapels were built as the elegant centrepiece of the cemetery. Even though it's one structure, the building is actually two separate chapels, one on each side of the spire, one for the Church of England, the other for nonconformists. The chapels are built from pink sandstone and incorporate gables, dormer windows and 3 archways. The central archway was intended for carriages, whilst the 2 on either side were made for foot passengers during processions. The spire rises high above, adorned with grotesques, pinnacles and other details. Each chapel is octagonal and perfectly symmetrical from the central arcade, with plain tiled roofs and decorative ridge cresting. It's a beautiful example of Gothic Revival architecture. The floors of the interior were paved with local Minton tiles, but as the chapels are inaccessible, the condition of these are not known. In fact, the chapels on the whole are in a fairly poor state, even though they're Grade 2 listed and therefore a protected site. may be easy to mourn the current condition of this once proud structure, but one can just as easily find beauty in its decay. Time has softened the sharp edges here, and what was once a bold statement, twin chapels of pink stone, raised in faith of a higher power, now leans gently on borrowed time. Roof tiles slip, glass is plastered over, and only silence fills its arches. Yet here it remains, carrying whispers of a city's past, of a time of segregation between Protestants, a time of strict ceremony, a time of pageantry and grief. But now, the chapels simply stand, out of use, keeping quiet company with the dead, and perhaps the occasional living dog walker. Maybe their purpose now isn't to serve a congregation, but to simply remind us of what endures when faith and purpose fade. Memory, craftsmanship, beauty, and the everlasting patience of stone. It seems like, in their decay, the chapels have managed to reflect the city itself once again. Weathered, imperfect, but still standing.